Welcome to the Patriot Hour, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. This is an update video for 5th of March, 2018. There was a new Anon update late in the early morning hours of today, so we're going to go over that. And I got a few other things lined up, so stick around and we'll get right into it. Welcome to the Patriot Hour update video. Not a lot was posted. Like I said, we had one in the early wee hours this morning from when I did my last video. So of course I like to keep up for you guys on all the newest drops. So we'll get into that. And then I'm going to take a minute. I think I've been getting a lot of questionings, emails, just people I know, how this all works. So I'll take a minute and we'll go over that as well. I'm going to leave a link. Always check the description boxes. Again, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, share, pass it on, comment. If you got any suggestions, don't drop an email or down in the comment, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Whatever works for you is fine for us. Okay, so let's jump right on in here. Okay, so March 5th at 01:39, it would be 8:44 in the series. Boom, 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 Q. And, I did a video on everything else. If you missed that, you can look, around the channel and you'll find it. Now, I did want to take a minute here on the Internet Bill of Rights. I did look into that. It appears to be AT&T in January kind of put this out there, and they're trying to get all the other providers to get on board. If you know anything about what net neutrality was doing, it was going to be government regulation. There was definitely some things that appeared to be good. They were fighting to keep a bit for a bit, or something transferring over the internet shouldn't be looked at any different than anything else. Anything that travels over a digital line is a bit. It means just a piece of information. Now, is that a movie? Is it a malicious file? Is it some of these things that are against the law? We all get that. So in the net neutrality, they did keep that there, like telling these ISPs or, internet service providers or cell phone data carriers to not reroute what they deem to be bad traffic and to work out deals with people like Netflix or some of these other high traffic sites to get preferenced highway for their information to stream. So if you're using an app that would stream in a movie illegally, they'd reroute you so many times and the movie would be choppy. You'd never really get to. That's what was going on. It's still going on. So the Bill of Rights is more of a consumer. I mean, it is written up by AT&T, but it's a consumer protection of a Bill of Rights, kind of like our Bill of Rights or Constitution is supposed to apply to the person. So therefore, and it talks about keeping a bit for a bit and never to, throttle down or reroute or slow down these sites that aren't so favorable, to keep it an open and free internet. So look into that. The link, I'm going to leave the link for, the QAnon map. All right. It'll be in the description. You guys can jump on this. These are all compiled. You don't have to look at all the trolling that goes on back in the day on 4chan or 8chan. Not that doesn't exist anymore. But when these were on there separately, you'd have hundreds of text above it, some hundreds below, between Q's postings. Now, Q, if he wants to reply to anybody on there, he'll typically repost it in his. He'll take a screenshot or however, and then repost the person that he's responding to give context, and then underneath he'll respond. A few other of these posts from last night, Dead Cat Bounce, that's like a book by a guy named Peter Cotton. It was about like a high minister that floated, was killed and floated up onto the shoreline, onto a beach. It's eerily familiar with something that I remember, but of the show I actually watched this morning, this episode. So the Chain of Command is I thought it was just like maybe a movie, premiering tonight at 9 p.m. when it was on, but I just kind of found that whole little series, and it runs on the Nat Geo channel, and I think this was episode 8, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was very interesting, and I saw the scene where the Q cup was sitting there. So, okay, on this one post it said "Make it rain," that we went over last night. Right here, post 828. Make it rain. We all know that to be with money, make it rain. That's very, very true. That's one of the meanings. But another meaning is it's a military saying after a bomb explodes, all the debris that rains down on everybody. I'm not saying that's what that is exactly saying, but that is one of the other meanings. So on some of these older posts, I'm going to go back down here. Since they're older and on the QAnon map, if you noticed here, just for example, we'll jump right here I'll just randomly scroll up a little more. We'll stop right here. 29. Some things must remain classified to the very end. North Korea is not being run by Kim. He's an actor in the play. Who is a director? ? The truth would sound so outrageous, most Americans would riot, revolt, reject, etc. The pedo networks are being dismantled, period. The child abductions for satanic rituals, i.e., Haiti and other third world countries, are paused, not terminated until players are in custody. We pray every single day for God's guidance and direction as we truly are up against pure evil. So if you hit the answers, like on some of these older ones, there's been so much put into them by the great patriotic Anons across the boards that there's some pretty good answers broke down. So it takes the post, it gives you the post again, and then it gives you, like I said, a breakdown. The pedo networks are being dismantled. There have already been many arrests for human/sex trafficking, not only in the U.S., but worldwide. And if you paid attention a little bit in the news, they're not real good at going over it in the mainstream, folks. It's just that's the facts. Remember Q yesterday, we're seeing 2% truth. So, summary: North Korea is not being ran by Kim. He's an actor. There is a director. The truth would sound so outrageous, most Americans would riot, revolt, reject, etc. The child abductions for satanic rituals. Extra answers: some things must remain. The pedo networks are being dismantled. So this one don't have a whole bunch of breakdown, but it broke down a little. Let's go to just another one up here. We will jump on. So post 40 on November 2nd. 4, 10, 20, A, B, C, D, E. So answers: 4, 10, 20, A, B, C, D, E. Donald Jr., Donald J. Trump. A Caesar cipher. Possible dates for operations. Keep in mind the difference in time zones and dates across East and West hemispheres. Possible dates for happenings in November. And that could have been verified by now. So did that one, and these, don't take these answers. These are just the top probably suggestions, or if things have been verified, they've probably come back and done it, or even possibly shortly before. But it's just the most collective data, probably the best guesstimate of what these are pointing at. Again, I have some breakdown, a legend that gives me, a lot of these are to people, if you haven't been in the game or paying attention at all, when they go over SA and, who does that mean? Where is BO? That's Barack Obama. HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton. SA, Saudi Arabia. NK, North Korea. And again, I have this thing that, like I said, a legend, and it breaks down most of all of those. I don't know if it's still available out there. I'm sure it's available somewhere out on the web. If I can track that down, I'll put a link as well. But I'm going to definitely put a link of the QAnon map.github that you guys can come on yourself and come down to some of these and read them and hit answers. If you got a little spare time, yeah, there's 844, but some of them are going to take seconds to read. If you want to just do one or a couple a day, to read and look at them, and it gets, there's some very disturbing ones. They talk about just some of the darker things that some of us maybe don't know existed or wouldn't want to believe. That's a thing with truth, folks. And people get upset sometimes when it impedes on their own agendas or their own thoughts. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion. We're not all entitled to our own facts, and that's, sometimes it's simply a right or a wrong. There's no middle, and a lot of people do like to play the middle. I got a lot of buddies from the past. Some of them I don't talk to anymore, but they used to like to play that middle. They never wanted to be wrong, never wanted to stick their neck out, and just too scared to be wrong or fail. And it's taken me a long time in my own life to admit when I'm wrong. And if I'm ever wrong, like I said on the show, point it out. If I know I'm wrong, I'm gonna admit it. Yeah, I'd rather, I'm here to spread the truth, and that's it. Promote freedom, liberty for all. That's our agenda at the Patriot Hour. Give you the truth, help wake you up a little bit. That's why we're even on, the YouTube platform. It's the most used, and I think it's where a lot of people that are sleeping hang out. I was myself at one point. So I'm not knocking anybody or degrading or calling names. I'm just saying it like it is. So do your own research. Don't ever take what I say. If you don't believe me, disprove me. That's all it takes. To set a little spark under you and go out, do your own research, do your own work, come back, make your own channel, spread what the truth is. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't believe a lot of the videos I would come across, or books I would read, or articles I would come across. But you keep going and you keep going, and you're gonna come to a conclusion. Whether that's hopefully based on a lot of research before you just close-mindedly come to something really fast. Like put some thought into it. And honestly, folks, your heart, go with where your heart leads you, because we all know right from wrong. It's not something you typically, have to be really, really taught. I mean, yes, of course, lots of bad things come off the playground as a kid. That's where you learn a lot of these, most of everything bad I ever learned was on the playground, the other kids fighting and name calling. But you know in your own being right from wrong. And that's just, you don't have to go really find that. That's a lot of these Q posts are going to fill in a lot of the gaps for a lot of things for a lot of people. So truth always prevails in the end, doesn't it, folks? That's the great thing about it. So welcome to the Patriot Hour. If this is your first show, I had a great discussion with a good, close buddy of mine, Bob, Robert, Harry, if you're listening. Great combo yesterday. Glad to have caught up a little bit. So hope everything's going great for you and you get back to your family soon. Yeah, check out everything, folks. Do the research. Don't take what I said here Do it yourself, figure it out. We will be back. If there's any more updates today, I plan on possibly getting another little video off later this evening for you. So until then, this is the Patriot Hour signing off, and we will bring you the latest breaking news as it comes.